right, we're live on the Doug Survival Show. We got Andrew Bremen alongside me today. Andrew, how are you, buddy?
Okay, thanks.
Welcome to the show, as always. So we have plenty to get to today. We're going to discuss some March Madness. We're going to discuss some NHL, the National Basketball Association, and Major League Baseball, along with the Giants making some key moves this offseason. So I want to get started with Governor Cuomo. Andrew, can you tell me about the restrictions that he's having for fans in Citi Field and Yankee Stadium?
Sure. So it's about 20% capacity. Masks are required, which sucks. But anyways, they're required. And let me check what else is here.
I think
Um,
you have to have either the vaccine or
you have to
a
have a
negative
test.
test.
Yeah, and it's about 2,500 plus people at 20% capacity in these stadiums.
So, because I've been to double games, I went back. They do the temperature check. Do you think that they should be enforcing the vaccine for fans to go into games?
No, they should not, because for the fact that not everyone's going to want to take the vaccine, and for the fact that people have a freedom of a right to decide what they want to do with their health. It shouldn't be people's. It shouldn't be It shouldn't be government's choice to decide on that.
Yeah, it shouldn't because I go to double games and they have it sectioned out, and I'm happy the way they are working it. And I have a photo here of a Prudential Center. Let me pull it up so people can see how it's like. There's like I think it's 10%, so I think there's maybe 1,000 fans, like 1,200, and it's not bad. You're all separated. You have to wear the mask as always. So I really don't understand. It's when you buy the tickets, it's either between two people or there's four people. So I really don't see the problem on why New York can't do the same. But it seems like that what we've seen in the past with Governor Cuomo is that he's taking things to like the extreme level. Would you say that?
Oh yeah, of course, and that's why people prefer. A lot of people, even before Corona, a lot of people moved to Jersey because specifically
Oh yeah, a
it's
lot
a
of people
better
are fleeing New
place.
York.
Yeah, because New York is a disaster. New York's a disaster. Jersey's bad, but not so bad like New York, and Jersey's good. And at
Yeah.
least the difference between Jersey and New York is it's a smaller state too, so it's
Well, you know how it starts, Andrew, right?
yeah,
A lot of people they start off in Brooklyn, then they move to Staten Island, and then they move to New Jersey. So
yeah. And now a
that's
lot of
how.
them are moving to Florida.
Yeah, so that's a trend.
Yeah, which you and I are probably going to be moving there next.
Yeah, I think I would end up in Florida of all the states to live, honestly.
Yeah, me too. And I think Brandon will be on next. He'll be
Oh, the
there too.
Florida?
Yeah,
Well, we're all New Yorkers, so.
and New Jerseyans.
Well, technically, we're New Yorkers. We were born there.
Yeah. Well, for me, you and Brandon feel more like the New Yorkers. I feel more like the
Yeah, I
Jerseyans.
wouldn't consider myself a New Jerseyan.
Well, I do. Because I mean, I was born there in New York, but I was only an infant. I was born there, and I only lived there as an infant, so I barely remember anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So I really see myself as Jersey since I know a
Like
lot about
I
Jersey.
probably go to New York all the time, so like Staten Island. So that's why I really consider myself a New Yorker.
Yeah, no, I consider myself a Jersey boy.
Like I wouldn't consider myself a Jersey boy.
No, I consider myself Jersey. I had no idea where I lived on the island, even though I visited the apartment building I lived in a few times until I went through records last year of where I lived, and then that's when I found out where I lived on the island.
Yeah, I think I went there. I went to that apartment when I think you were like three or something.
Yeah, well,
It's
I
lawn
don't
season.
remember.
I need a lawn. Quick. Fast way to bring it.
So I don't know if you heard that ad.
Yeah,
I don't know why that played. So it's going to be 20% capacity to start the seasons for New York. Let's see. I'm trying to find the rest of the guidelines. So this is the guidelines for New York, Citi Field, Yankee Stadium. Take a COVID test with negative results or provide proof of a COVID-19 vaccination. Each fan will be required to have their temperature checked upon entry. All fans 2 years and older must wear a face mask, even if they received a COVID-19 vaccine. But then that goes against the CDC guidelines that Dr. Fauci put out, where they said you don't have to. I think it was something you don't have
And
to. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask.
it's a disaster.
And then seating will be in pods that will range from 1 to 8 guests to encourage social distancing. Pods will be 1 to 6 fans at Citi Field. I actually don't like that. But it's a baseball stadium is a lot different compared to a hockey arena. Would you think so?
I really don't know, to be honest with you, but probably yes.
Well, you've been to hockey and baseball games.
Yeah, that's true. I just haven't seen what it was like during.
Oh yeah, that's
COVID.
right, during COVID times.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the Philadelphia Phillies website, and they're not requiring a test.
No.
No, it's going to be so for Philadelphia. 20% capacity. All right, let's see. Oh wait, I had it on my phone, so let me just pull it up quick because I know it's different compared to Citi Field. So hold on, let's see. I have it right here.
Yeah, you're right. Cuomo's really like strict about the rules compared to Murphy with the stadiums.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait for Cuomo to get it out. No offense.
All right, so this is for Philly games, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for the Pirates. Not feeling well, please do not attend the game. That's an obvious. Social distancing. Fans are required to practice social distancing of at least 6 feet inside and outside of Citizens Bank Park. Face coverings are required at all times, including in the parking lots, moving towards the ballpark, and inside the ballpark, other while actively eating or drinking. No smoking. Safety training and protocol. Ballpark staff working game days have completed training on CDC guidelines, PPE, and other COVID-19 practices and protocols. Ballpark staff complete a temperature check prior to entering the ballpark. No tailgating. Your ticket is going. You're going to have a certain gate to enter, kind of like at the Devil game. Pod seating, disinfection, hand sanitizing stations. Fans will not be permitted within 12 feet of the dugouts and bullpen, so no autographs. Yeah, it's basically the same as what Governor Murphy is doing for the state of New Jersey and the New Jersey Devils. So
No
that's,
autographs. You can't get autographs at the Devils Arena.
I mean, it's open, but players don't really stop. So it looks like if I want to go to a baseball game, it is going to Philadelphia to see the Phillies and probably the Mets or the Rays, whoever they're playing this year.
Yeah.
So would you say that basically Cuomo is taking a power trip?
He is very much so. I think he's taking it to the point where people don't feel free and they feel like they're under tyrannical rule.
And then he has all these allegations against him, so the governor has a lot to deal with.
Yeah. Well, next year's a gubernatorial election in New York, so I wonder if that'll be the end of him next year.
That's if people vote him out.
Yeah.
A lot of
But
Democrats.
that's another thing about New York. There's no term limits in New York State.
Yeah, there isn't, and I'm not really sure why it's like that.
Yeah, I think in Texas it's like that too.
I don't think there's a reason why you should spend your whole career serving a country or a town or whatever it may be.
State.
There should be term limits because if you're doing a terrible job at a job, let's say you work at Burger King and you keep getting the orders wrong. They want a Whopper and you keep giving them chicken nuggets. That company, that job, that manager, they're not going to want you there. So if New Yorkers are tired of Cuomo, they should really, or even one of their legislators should really enforce or put to the table a term limit.
Yeah, like New Jersey, we have term limits here,
And
and
I
that's
like
probably
that.
why. And that's probably why everyone moves here too, because we have term limits compared to New York.
I like that. I don't want it. I don't want to have the same guy leading me. There should
Dude,
be term
it feels
limits,
like he's been leading as long as Fidel Castro had been the prime minister of Cuba.
and
That's how
that's
it
not good.
feels.
That's not good for a country or a state.
Yeah, exactly. But I hope they don't vote him in for a fourth term. I mean, this is his third term already. Wow.
Wow, that's the same amount of. That's long. Was that longer than your dad working at Domino's?
My dad started in '08, and he started in 11.
Oh, so Cuomo. Yes, that's 10 years. Wow.
Yeah, but he was governor of New York throughout most of Obama's term, throughout all of Trump's term, and now throughout Biden's term.
Yeah.
Damn,
So I know,
damn.
right?
That's a long time. 6 years of Obama's term, and then 4 years of Trump's term, and then now Joe Biden's.
Yeah, we gotta have term limits, Andrew.
We do. Other states have it too, not just New Jersey, PA. I think Florida has it. Maryland has it. Delaware, I think, does too. I don't know, but I
Yeah, I
know
think that's
Pennsylvania
that's
has
definitely a show you and I could do. We could discuss like term limits, or maybe we could talk to my friend that does like the works for that non. He doesn't work. He has a nonprofit organization. We could discuss term limits. That would be good to talk about.
Yeah, next year's a gubernatorial election in PA, by the way, in Pennsylvania.
Oh, so Tom Wolf is up.
Yeah, he's done because he served his term.
Nice.
So there won't be no more Tom Wolf at the end of next year.
Well, we don't live in PA. We got to worry about Phil Murphy, Jack Citarelli, and Phil Rizzo. You said right.
Hmm.
So it's going to be an interesting election year for New Jersey.
Yeah, I hope. I wonder if Murphy will break that record of the Democrats not being reelected.
See, but here's the thing, Andrew, and I'm sure our viewers are wondering, "Oh, you don't like politics," but when it's just you and I like having a political. I like having a political discussion.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: if we look at the presidential elections, Biden won, Obama won in New
Trump
Jersey.
won.
Why do you think the Republicans somehow get reelected in the state of New Jersey when it comes towards the governor?
I think for the fact that people like the policies they implemented,
Because
and
Christie, a lot of people didn't like Christie, and he got reelected. So,
yeah, I really don't know, but I think it's because maybe people are clueless, or it's because they really liked his policies. And it seemed like the reason why a lot of these, all these Democrats in the last 40 years haven't been reelected as New Jersey state governor is because people didn't like their policies. Like you had Jim Florio with taxing toilet paper and paper towels. You had John Corzine trying to sell the turnpike. And then I heard something with Jim McGreevey as well. I forgot what it was, but he had some scandal going on when he was governor. So it was insane with these guys. So that's why we
oh, I
haven't seen
bet.
any Democrats reelected in over 40 years.
So you think Phil Murphy will get reelected, or you think people had enough?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean,
I think this is going to be an interesting one, for
this
sure.
one's going to be a very, very big dogfight compared to the presidential election in 2020. I think this election we're dealing with now is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a
Oh, for
dogfight.
sure.
Yeah. So, but I think Phil Rizzo's probably going to drop out, and I think it's going to be Jack Citarelli against Phil Murphy.
You think so?
Yeah, because Jack Citarelli seems to be the guy leading the Republican Party for the state
Yeah, that's
of
what
New
I've been
Jersey.
hearing a lot.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be Jack Citarelli against Phil Murphy, and they both have a very good shot at being elected because Murphy's ratings are high, and then Jack Citarelli has been preparing for this for a couple years now. So I think it's going to be a very interesting election.
Yeah, and then we could do leading up to it. We could have more shows just discussing the gubernatorial election. But I want to get to
Yeah.
Salvador Perez. He is returning to the Kansas City Royals. He has been basically the face of that franchise. World Series MVP in 2015. I believe he hit the game-winning base hit in the 2014 wild card team, the wild card game when they won the wild card. Then they went to the World Series. They ultimately lost to the San Francisco Giants against Madison Bumgarner, who had a great Game 7, a great postseason. Madison has had a great postseason every time he made it. So, Andrew, I know you don't really know that much about baseball and sports in general besides the NBA, but I just have a question for you.
Hmm. Yep.
How important is it for organizations to keep their players? You know, you have a guy like Salvador Perez that could have been on the move when they started their rebuild after their World Series run. You know, you look at teams like the Yankees who have had Derek Jeter for his whole career. Um, there's many guys like that, but you see guys like, let's say, Manny Machado. He ended up getting traded.
Right.
You also have guys like Mookie Betts. So how important is it for organizations? You could even say the Rays, they get rid of their guys like Blake Snell, but they still find ways to win. So how important is it to have these type of players and to keep them long term, not just to build a foundation, but to lead, how do I say it, to lead the young guys, the young talent that comes up, to be an
Um,
example, to be a leader. How important is that?
it's very, very important for the fact that, you're going to have people in the future that are going to play in the MLB, and they're going to want to look at role models like Derek Jeter, Aaron Judge, and see how they played so that they can improve their game even better and possibly become like them one day. And and also for these star players, they can they can get the team they play to as many World Series as possible.
And then we both know who Nick Dini is. I went to high school with Nick Dini.
We both went to the same school, but you went with him,
Yeah, but I
obviously,
know him. I had class with him.
and you know him personally.
Yeah, I had class. I think it was Mr. Carlson, Materials
Prado.
and Methods, my freshman year. What was I going to say? He's a catcher, and for a guy like Salvador Perez to work with a young guy like Nick Dini, I think that's going to help Nick Dini's career moving forward. So it's always good to have these guys that can stay in the locker room, stay and have their presence within the organization because a lot of guys they are traded and they are moved away to another organization or they chase the money or they say I don't want to be part of a rebuild culture. The Royals throughout most of his career, Salvi, they were a bad team. Then they started to get to a good core of players: Eric Hosmer, Alcides, Salvi, and they started to go on those runs in 13, 14, and 15. Obviously, they're rebuilding now. So, how important is it for Salvador Perez, the face, just to be there throughout every up and down year that this Kansas City Royals team has had?
Oh, it's very, very important since he's been with them for a very long time, and he's done a very good job as a player and as a person.
Oh man, my bracket is busted.
Again,
Yeah, because I picked LSU and they lost to Michigan today 86-78. So that's my bracket is basically done. I'm still alive with Creighton, but that doesn't really matter because my national championship was Ohio State and LSU, and both of those teams are done. So what a year that was! What a bracket year this was for
yeah.
me.
And did you hear about Rutgers last night?
Yeah, they should have won that game. Honestly,
Yeah,
they
they should
blew it.
have won, and they blew it. They were down by three. It was kind of like the other game the other night with the other team, with
I
Clemson.
think Rutgers was a team that could have gone far.
Oh yeah, of course they should have went far, but I think they let their guard down and they lost. And what do you think about the football team going forward with Greg Schiano?
I think they could. I think they could go places. They showed competitiveness last year, but they went up against tough teams in Ohio State, Michigan. But they showed that they could compete and they could win these games. And if you think about the years prior with Greg Schiano, they were competitive. And then if you look at the years with like Chris Ash, they weren't competing. They would get blown out 78 to nothing versus Michigan. At least this
78
year,
to nothing.
yeah,
Damn.
because they didn't have a system in place. And then if you look at the games this year, they were at least competitive. I think they went to overtime with Michigan, so it's not like they're getting blown out. They're building a system. They're building something in place. So I really think that moving forward, I think Rutgers is going to be a good football team, and I
Yeah.
think moving forward that they're going to be able to compete and go to more uh, the dance, the March Madness. They're going to be there. This just wasn't a 1 year thing. They're going to be there. So, you have plenty of time left to rest and get the training back because the COVID year was definitely different. And moving forward, I think the Rutgers basketball team, the Rutgers football team. Well, again, you have to think about this. The Big Ten, they delayed their season, so I think they played like maybe 6 or 8 games compared to other like Florida maybe played like 11 games. Alabama played like 11 games, so
Yeah.
they they didn't really have the time to practice. So I think next year will be a better year for Rutgers in regards to football.
Yeah.
Basketball, I see improvement. They should have been at the Sweet 16 this year. I could see them going to a Final Four. Championship may be tough, but I think they're going to improve.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was I going to say? Yeah. But yeah, I heard today the West Virginia governor and the governor of I think it was, I'm trying to think who it was. Yeah, I heard West Virginia and a few other governors saying that we will probably have a full eligibility for vaccines for everyone by May.
Oh, in West Virginia or the whole country?
West Virginia and also I heard Georgia as well.
Yeah,
It was Georgia. So I have a feeling that it's going to happen soon in Jersey.
it probably will.
Yeah.
I don't see no reason why they can't.
Yeah, and I hope by the summer everything's back open.
I think that's where we're heading to. I think everything is going to be open. But the one thing I saw is if you saw the cruise lines,
hmm
you have to have a vaccine to go on the cruise.
Yeah, that's true.
So
We
I
got to
don't
go to
think
Miami next year, Doug.
we should for real. I don't think that's going to be. I don't think a cruise is in it. I don't think. No, that's not what I want. I don't think it's right that you have to be forced to have the vaccine
It's not right. You should get
because,
tested.
because there are people that have immunity. There are people that are O negative and basically can't be affected by COVID. So or the flu, and what a lot of people don't seem to realize because I was talking to someone yesterday and they're like, "Oh, we get the vaccine, everything is normal, blah blah blah."
Oh yeah.
And then someone brought up was this is going COVID is always going to mutate. It's going to be just like the flu. And if you think about this aspect, a lot of people don't realize this, but you have to get the COVID shot every year, just like you get the flu shot every year. I think the vaccine right now is it's 6 months, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's a 6 month immunity. So what's going to happen where the 6 months is up? Are we going to rise in cases, or is everything going to be okay where we could go 100%, where you don't have to have any restrictions? So
Yeah. I know. I really hope this all ends eventually. Like
yeah, it will.
I hope so. I want to go to church without having to do all this stuff, you
Oh
know.
yeah, the mask, and then your dad getting yelled at for sitting in the wrong seat.
Yeah. I know. Dude, especially in church, bro. Like it's a sacred place and it's like so annoying government has to interfere, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
The
it's so
separation of
stupid.
what's that called? State and
Church.
church,
Yeah,
church and state.
exactly.
All right, again, if
It's
you're just joining us, Andrew Brem, you
it
have
was
my
stupid.
what?
Before we go, it's
What?
stupid. Also, they had to close churches the first 3 months.
Yeah, I know.
That's stupid. Like it's our religious right to gather.
Yeah, but I think that was the bishop's decision to say we should be safe. Churches were
Yeah,
still open to pray, but I don't think that was Murphy's thing. I think that was the bishop.
yeah. Well, there was one church in South Jersey, a Baptist church, that opened in
Yeah, and they
defiance of
got
the government.
fined, right? People got arrested or something.
No, they got cited. No, they didn't get
No,
fined.
I know there was something down south where people got like arrested for having like mats in the parking lot.
No, that wasn't it. No,
No,
this is.
not in New Jersey. I think it was like down south,
Oh, okay. I
like
think it
maybe
was Louisiana.
Tennessee.
I think it was
There was
Louisiana.
somewhere, some state down south where people got arrested for going to
That's
church.
so stupid.
I
Just going
know.
to church. It's so stupid.
Makes sense, right?
What?
Free country, but you get arrested for practicing your religious right.
It's so stupid.
A
It's
country that
stupid.
was founded on Christian values.
Christian and Catholic values. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. We'll be right back on the Doug Strabo Show. Alongside me, we have Andrew Brem. We have myself. LaMelo Ball gets hurt. Andrew, how that's going to be tough, but we'll discuss that right after this commercial break. All right, we are back on the Doug Saravo Show. Alongside me, we have Andrew Brem and myself. So, Andrew, the Hornets are sitting 20 and 21. They are in that eighth spot. Now, it's not one of those years where you're in that eighth spot, you're battling for a playoff spot, because what's going to happen is 1 through 6 makes the playoffs, and 7 through 8 is going to be a play-in round. So the Hornets are still alive. But what are their chances now to be a playoff team with LaMelo Ball, who's having a great year, most likely going to win Rookie of the Year this year, gets hurt last night, and it looks like he's out for the season. So how tough is that if you're a Hornets fan, and how tough is that if you're LaMelo Ball on your way to recovery?
Oh, it's very, very tough for the fact that LaMelo Ball has been the star player of the year, and he has been holding this young Hornets team this entire season. So I think it's going to be a really tough. It's going to be a tough year going forward if LaMelo Ball's out for the rest of the season. So I think it's going to be very tough, and I have a feeling that the Hornets are going to go downhill from here.
You really think so? You don't think guys should step up like Hayward, Devonte Graham?
They could step up, but LaMelo Ball, I think, was the one really carrying that team.
Oh, so you really truly believe that it's just LaMelo Ball and everyone else really haven't had an impact for that team?
No, of course, everyone has had an impact. I mean, they're very good players.
No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean at all. But you're saying LaMelo Ball basically made everyone around him better, kind of like the way LeBron James impacted the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right, exactly. I think so.
I mean, right now it just says it's potential season-ending injury. So hopefully, because what happened, Andrew, is I don't know if you ever fell playing basketball, but a lot of guys when they fall, for some reason they fall on their hands, and that's where he basically, like, I think fractured his wrist.
Yeah, I think today I fell actually playing. I think I was trying to get a rebound or something. I don't remember exactly, and then I slipped. It was like a
Because
tough rebound.
a lot of guys got hurt this year. You have LeBron, you have LaMelo, you have Joel Embiid, Steph Curry got hurt, Anthony Davis got hurt, Klay Thompson got hurt. Oh, and I think Klay got hurt last year, and he's been out for a while. So it's been tough on the NBA. A
Hmm.
lot of these guys are getting hurt, and I don't think that's good for the sport,
Hmm.
because if you think about it, when the top guys are out, teams aren't really competitive. And for example, you could look at a team like you could look at a team like the Raptors, or even not when it comes to like injury wise, but when there's teams that don't really have stars, like the Raptors. Yeah, they got Kyle Lowry, but they don't really have the Kawhis anymore. They don't have the DeRozans anymore. They struggle. They're on an 8-game losing streak. Same thing too with the Rockets. They lose their top players. They trade them, they fall apart. And then you have teams that were bad for many years, like you have the Sixers sitting at 30 and 13. They went 10 and 72 a few years ago. You have the Nets who are 29 and 14. They were one of the worst teams in the league. You have the Bucks who are 27 and 14. They were one of the worst teams in the league. And the same thing goes for the Phoenix Suns. They're now 28 and 13. Many years ago, they were the worst team in the league.
Hmm.
So how important is it for teams, especially these young teams that are in the playoff picture especially, to have their guys healthy? Because when you have your star players healthy, you are going to compete. And I think teams build around those guys. Teams don't really build around, you know, one good player like a LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Hopefully now they do that. The Hornets do that where they can be a contender. But when you look at teams, they mostly build around the LeBron James. They build around, the Anthony Davises. They build around the Kyrie Irvings, Kevin Garnett's. That one team. I think the Timberwolves. There was a year where they were one of the top teams in the league. I don't even remember. I want to look that up. The Timberwolves. They had a great year with Kevin Garnett, and unfortunately they fell short. But and I'm going to look for this. They went to. I think they went to the Western Conference Final. Kevin Garnett. There was one year he had one of the. I'm not sure, but there was a year, and I'm trying to find it. So, just give me a second, and I'll pull it up for everyone. But same thing too with the Sixers. They built around Allen Iverson. So these are teams where you really need to have depth because when your guys get hurt, unfortunately, you fall off the map. All right, so I think it's the 2001 Timberwolves. They were, yeah, they had a good run, but they lost in the first round to the San Antonio Spurs. Trying to find out who's on this team. All right, here we go. They went 47 and 35. Yeah, this was a good team. Kevin Garnett, Chauncey Billups, Will Avery, Todd Day, Terrell Brandon, Tom Hammonds, Wally Zerbick. So they had a good team, but they didn't just build around, let's say, a Chauncey Billups. They had top players at each position. Same thing with this Brooklyn Nets team. They have their guys. They have the Kyrie Irvings. They have the James Hardens. They have the Kevin Durants. They have Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. So even if one of those guys get hurt, they're still going to be a good team. You make a good point. Without LaMelo Ball, who knows where
The Hornets
who
will
knows where this Hornet team ends up?
go. Hmm.
So we actually have a question from Brendan Wong. Hey Doug, does Andrew know that Brandon Schwartz has now been fired from the show? Did you know that, Andrew?
Of course.
Yeah, you knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyways, Schwartz is still good though with me and Doug, right?
Huh?
He's still good with us.
I guess if you want to say that.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he knows Madison, Andrew.
Yeah, Madison's a goof. Madison looks like a Teletubbies character.
Oh God, Andrew. Let's keep this show
All right.
PG.
Fine.
Remember when you said Timmy looked like a Sesame Street character?
He looks like Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
Yeah, the blue monster.
You think that?
Yeah.
I don't see that at all.
Cookie Monster, or there's like a red character, I think, that looks like Elmo, but it's not Elmo.
Elmo?
Yeah, there was some character from Sesame Street that looked like Elmo, but it wasn't Elmo.
I wonder who you're thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know his name either.
I really wonder who you're thinking of now.
Yeah, me too. Here, I'll look it up. Hold on.
Elmo.
Here it is, Sesame Street.
There's Elmo. There's someone that looks like, not Big Bird.
No, it's somebody else that's red here. Arnie, I think his name is. I don't know.
Arnie.
That's the red characters. Nah, not Muppet. Nah, not him. Maybe the guy in the dumpster is what Timmy looks like.
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't see that.
but he looks like some kind of Sesame Street character. He does.
What do you think of these things?
I don't know the way people act, the way people talk, the way people.
Who do I look like?
The Lorax.
Oh, here we. All right, I have the photo of the Lorax. You really think I look like the Lorax?
With the beard and the coloring, yes.
How?
You have a very simple. You have a
Yeah, maybe the color of the beard, but I don't see
like the
anything
thickness
else.
as well. A little bit of the thickness too.
Yeah, that's true.
So
All right, again, if you're just joining us, we discuss basically all sports. Andrew, Brad, myself, we discussed some politics. That was a great discussion. I try to keep it like a politic-free show, but when it's just you, I don't mind doing it. It's like when other people are here that really aren't like interested in it. So I figured we talk a little politics with you today. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and the New York Giants are making a lot of moves. Kenny Galladay, Mike Lennon, well, he's going to be the backup for Danny Dimes. Gettleman also brought in Devontae Booker to back up Saquon. I don't remember his Jackson from Tennessee. Kyle Rudolph was a big signing, so I'm very happy with the signings that the New York Giants have done.
what do you think of the New York Jets?
We'll get to that right after this commercial break.
I'm going to work with Stratford Rec to see what can we do about it, because I can pitch in money to start with, because we need that. Look at that. It's like, sad. The pup is crying. We need to do something.
And when she gets elected, she will do a lot of great work for this town, things that haven't been done before. She's highly respected, highly intelligent, and I'm looking forward to hearing on election day that she is your newest representative, but most importantly, your voice.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are back on the Doug Saravo Show. Alongside me, we have Andrew Brem, we have myself, and Kenny Galladay is going to the New York Giants. This is a great move, along with their other receivers, John Ross. And this is what Kenny had to say when he sat down with John Smelk today about signing with the New York Giants.
The pieces, you know what I'm saying? I want to go to a team, that had, a lot of pieces around that can, that I can help and that can also help me. And I think Giants were the best fit.
And he's right. The Giants are the best fit. Right now, they are building a core. They have a system in place, the New York Giants. We truly do. I truly see us going somewhere. And Andrew, on a few shows ago, we talked about how this Giants team can compete for a Super Bowl in a few years. They have a great defense. Yeah, they lost Dalvin Tomlinson to the Minnesota Vikings. But looking at what the Giants have right now, the moves they brought in, the guys they brought in with Devontae Booker, John Ross, Ari Jackson, Mike Lennon, and Kyle Rudolph, and now you bring in Kenny Galladay. Could we be correct that the Giants will be playing in a Super Bowl in a few years with the guys they have, as long as the O line performs, as long as Danny Dimes is consistent, and as long as Saquon Barkley stays healthy? Do we see a Super Bowl basically in the making right now?
Yes, we do. We definitely do see it with everything you mentioned. We see it happening. I would say 2025, we'll see a Super Bowl.
So you see it in about 4 seasons.
Yeah, 4 or 5 seasons, 25, 26.
So that would be what, Super Bowl
60, 61.
So you think it will be in the 60s when they go back to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Wow, that just shows how old we are, Andrew.
Shit. Dude, I'll be 26 in 2025. And you'll be 30.
See, we're heading
31.
towards the 60s soon.
Shit. And my dad will be 60 by the Super Bowl 60.
Yeah?
My mom and dad will be in their 60s by then. Damn.
Super Bowl 60. Wow, that's crazy to think that we're... I remember when there was like Super Bowl 40, Super Bowl 42.
Yeah, wow. Damn.
We're getting old, Andrew.
Damn, dude. In about 3 years, and over 3 years from now, you'll be 30.
Here we go. And what happens next year, Andrew?
And in over 3 years, I'll be 25.
And what happens next year?
Your reunion.
Oh God.
I'm probably gonna not go to my reunion. I don't know.
I'm not going.
You're not going?
I don't know if we're having one. I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. Well, with Corona, we don't know.
All right. So you mentioned the New York Jets before we get to commercial break. What do the Jets have to do besides, fixing everything that is in place? Because the Jets have been a disaster the last few years, and we know that. What does this Jets team have to do to build a contender, not just a playoff contender, but a divisional contender? Because the Bills, they have Josh Allen. They just signed Mitchell Trubisky to back up the Bills quarterback. Running back is really questionable. O-line questionable. Defense, 50%. So what does this Jets team have to do to basically say, hey, we want to build a contender. We want to be a playoff team. We can't be the little brother to the New York Giants, even though they always will be. So what does this team have to do?
What they have to do is that they gotta rebuild everything. They of course fired Adam Gase, which is a smart move. I think he was the toxic of the Jets, and then they gotta just have more.
Yeah, that's what you think?
Yes. I mean, it happens with a lot of coaches. I mean, Doug, you just saw with the Atlanta Hawks, they fired their coach and they got a new guy in. And Atlanta Hawks, they're actually doing well. They're like one of the top 5 teams.
Yeah, they're in the playoff spot. I think right now they are at. Let's see, I have it up here. The Atlanta Hawks. I know they're like 22 and 21. They're currently at the 4th spot. And they're on an 8-game winning streak. So the Hawks, that helped. So hopefully Robert Saleh helps the New York Jets. Hopefully he's the type of guy like Rex Ryan, able to get them to the playoffs. But the difference between him and Rex Ryan is Rex Ryan started to become this guy that did all this talking, and they did nothing besides fall apart. So you think Robert Saleh could be this culture change for the New York Jets?
Yes, I think he could. I think he really could. Really, really could.
Is there a reason you think that?
Not quite per se, but we have to see.
Any reason though?
Not really.
I mean, he's had success in San Francisco, but the thing with the Niners is they need Jimmy G to stay healthy, because once he went down, that team fell apart. We've seen it in every year he's been hurt. So hopefully that Robert Saleh is the type of guy that can get so much out of his players that even if Sam Darnold, who's right now their quarterback, gets hurt or plays inconsistent, they could go to a new quarterback and they could win games because when you have someone like Nick Mullins or C.J. Beathard, the Niners they're not winning games. So hopefully Robert Saleh is that type of coach that can help. He could change that culture, and it doesn't matter who their quarterback is. They find ways to win games because when you're in New York, the media is going to be all over you when you win, when you lose, and even if you don't make the changes that you're supposed to make. Because we've seen it with the Mets when they had all this, issues going on with Wilpons. They weren't selling the team. The New York Post and Daily News was all over them. You know, I think there was a headline once where it said, sell the team or continue to be losers, something like that. And they sold the team and they finally spend their money with Uncle Stevie Cohen. So I think that says a lot for this Mets organization that they are willing to be big spenders and maybe outdo the New York Yankees.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
All right, so if you guys are just joining us, we just want to take the time to say thank you for supporting the Doug Saravo Show, Saravo Broadcasting, and all those involved with Saravo Broadcasting. We appreciate your support. We have more to get to. Our final thoughts up next. We're going to do some predictions of what's going to happen throughout the world of sports. And we're going to start with the National Basketball Association. So, Andrew, I want to start with you. I'm looking at the standings right now. The
Yes.
teams 7 through 8, which are going to battle for the playoffs, basically, you'll have two teams, 7 and 8. So 7 would play 10, 8 would play 9. Of those teams, you have the Knicks, you have the Hornets, you have the Pacers, and you have the Bulls. So who do you see coming out? It's going to be two teams. So let's start with the Knicks. Do you think the Knicks could be the 7th seed, or do you see a team like the Bulls defeating them in that play-in round?
I think the Knicks are going to win this time for the fact that they've been rebuilding over the years. They have good players like Derrick Rose. They got a good coach. And I could see potential for them to win against the Bulls this year because they've been rebuilding over the years and they're really showing what they got this year.
They truly are. Tom Thibodeau's been doing a phenomenal job.
So I think that's what's going to happen.
All right, so let's say LaMelo Ball is out for this season. Right now it's just potential. We don't know. Nothing has been official, but it's looking like he's out for this season. So instead of doing a matchup prediction like we did last time, could you see the Hornets dropping and a team like the Raptors or even the Cavaliers going on a run and taking out the Hornets out of that playoff picture? Or do you think someone like Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, and Gordon Hayward can step up for this organization?
I think it's going to be a step up. I feel like it's going to be a step up for the fact that the Raptors are one of the worst teams in the league. So I think this Hornets team could hold on to it.
So you think guys are going to step up?
They're going to step up. It's going to be very tough, but I think they'll eventually step up in the long run. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be very, very rough, but I think it's not going to be impossible.
All right, so I'm looking at this Western Conference playoff picture right now. And the play-in round, you have the Spurs, the Mavericks, the Warriors, and the Grizzlies. And honestly, it's just amazing how Greg Popovich continues to keep this Spurs team as one of those, I want to say elite teams, but competitive teams. Because if you look at teams, when you have, like for example, look at the Devils, Niedermeyer, Stevens, Brodeur, Elias, Danica, when they all left, when they retired or Niedermeyer went to the Ducks, Elias got hurt and hasn't been the same. These teams, these organizations, they fall apart and they have to do a full rebuild. And when you look at the Spurs, despite all their top guys retiring, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, trading Kawhi, they still are competitive. You have a roster of Patty Mills, DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, but I think he's on the trade block. Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Lonnie Walker, Trey Lyles, Rudy Gay, Lucas Simonik. Would you say that Greg Popovich is one of those coaches where, despite whoever's on their team, if his system continues to stay in place as long as he's there, that they'll be one of those top competitive teams?
Hmm.
So could you see like a team like the Spurs, because of Popovich and the way he coaches, could you see them going on a run, or do you think that the Jazz, the Suns, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Trailblazers, or or just a better team than they
think that
are?
I think the other teams you listed are just a better team for the fact that the Lakers, they got LeBron James obviously, and then the Clippers, they got Kawhi Leonard, good players.
And then the Suns got Chris Paul, Jazz has Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, so they got like star players on these teams. So I don't see the Spurs going forward. I think they're going to remain
So you think
six.
this is kind of like the Marlins, where they go on a good run the first 60 games, and then they fall apart?
Yes.
All right, so this is basically, just a young team playing good team basketball. I mean, if you look at last year, the Spurs did kind of fall apart. They were under 500. So I think, given the fact that they are technically kind of rebuilding still, I don't see DeRozan being there the next few years. I definitely don't see Aldridge being there the next few years. I see them. I do see them falling off.
Yes, I do.
All right, so I want to talk about the National Hockey League.
Even though I have nothing, I know nothing about it. Even though I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I know. So Scott Wedgwood, he shut out the Pittsburgh Penguins. No, when I went to the game, it was a 3-1 game, and it seems like every time I go, the Devils play inconsistent hockey, except against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So it's like I'm bad luck when I go, or they're something, whatever.
Yeah.
I do have a good record when I go, but lately it's just been up and down. I don't even want to talk about it. So
Maybe
the
you should
question,
become a Florida Panthers fan.
nah, even they are good.
Yeah, a lot of Florida teams are good.
Yeah, they are.
Like that's why I want to move there because for the major league teams. I mean, and plus they have 4 cities. They have Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa,
I
Miami.
know it's a big state.
It is. That's why I want to go there. New York's good, but at this point, I want to get out of here.
So the question I have for you regarding the Devils, because I know you go to Devil games with me, so you have to know something about the Devils. Would you say that the reason why the Devils are bad is because they really failed at building around a guy like Taylor Hall, where they had to trade the guy? So would you say that the Devils were one of those teams that struggled rebuilding?
I think so.
Because you have teams like the Rangers who have their core in place. They know who's going to be their goalie. They know who's going to be on defense. They have a few guys. They know who's going to be their forwards. They have a lot of guys in place. The Devils, we basically restarted the rebuild. So would you say it's going to be... I know you can't really get into the analytics of things, because I know when it comes to like the NHL, you really don't know anything. And that's not an insult, that's just the truth. So would you say the way the Devils have been performing this year, would you say that it's going to be at least 4 or 5 years before they become one of those top teams? Or could it be sooner, because teams like the Bruins, teams like the Penguins, and teams like the Capitals are going to get older?
I think they're going to be champions in the next few years. I think they're going to be one of those top 5 playoff teams since they are a young team, and I think they're just having problems with trading.
So you don't think this is going to be one of those long rebuilds where it's kind of been 10 years of rebuilding because the Devils haven't done anything in
Yeah,
regards to that rebuild? Lou Lamoriello shouldn't have brought in guys like Michael Ryder, Marty Havlat.
yeah.
Lou delayed the rebuild, so do you think it's going to be a long process for me as a Devils fan spending all my money, or do you think it's going to be short term
I think
and
it's gonna be
within the next 2 to 3 years we'll be a playoff contender?
probably like the next 3 to 5.
Because we do have guys in place. We have Sharon Govich. We have um, Jack Hughes. I'm not worried about. We have Nico Heischer. We have Gizmo walking by right now over the wires.
Oh, hi.
So, because a lot of people say it's going to be like 6 or 7 years before the Devils make the playoffs again, but for me, I think it's going to be 2 to 3 years at
I think it's
least.
gonna be like 4.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're kind of on the same page right there.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break because Gizmo is giving me those eyes to go outside. So I'm going to take a quick commercial break before Gizmo comes up and maybe knock down the computer, scratch my leg. So we'll be right back after this commercial break, and we are going to talk about one of your favorite things. We'll be right back. All right, we are back on the Doug Sarava Show. Alongside me, we have Andrew Brem. Andrew, it's been a pleasure today. We talked a lot. We talked some politics. We talked some baseball, football, basketball, some NHL. That's what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do in today's episode was go over a whole variety of topics. So I want to talk about style because I know you
Yes.
love the gold chain. I know you love watches.
Right.
So I have a Invicta New York Giants watch.
Hmm.
I like my suit and my tie, my jacket.
Yes.
So the question I have for you is, what's like your favorite type of outfit? Like, what do you like to wear?
Well, when
Like, is
it's
there a brand that you like, or do you just go for whatever you think you look good in,
like
or
in
whatever
terms of
looks good?
jewelry, in terms of jewelry or clothes.
Anything.
So when it's colder outside, normally I like to wear a long sleeve shirt, wear a pair of jeans, then I put on a watch. Put on my watch. It's a Boss. It's a silver Boss watch. It's scratch resistant. I don't think it's waterproof, but it's scratch resistant. I know that because I got this from my parents for Christmas. And then I put on my Franco chain, my 24-inch Franco chain in sterling silver. I got that at Macy's, and unfortunately, it's not waterproof or sweat-proof. And I think if I wanted to get a warranty, I would have to pay money for that, and I don't know how much exactly, but it's a lot.
Yeah,
So
but
I
yeah,
put
like
that on.
I like
the-
this watch.
So I put those things on, and I like to put on a pair of. I like to put my Adidas shoes on, my white Adidas shoes, since I look cool in them, and that's the style a lot of guys in their 20s like to wear. A lot of guys in their 20s like to dress like that.
Yeah,
And what I'm looking for now is that I'm looking for a a bracelet, like a Cuban chain bracelet, that's waterproof, sweatproof, and has a lifetime warranty. And then I'm looking for another chain, possibly a pendant, like with a lion or a cross on it, that's also waterproof as well, and has a lifetime warranty. And I'm thinking I have a silver watch and a silver chain, but I'm thinking getting gold this time
see,
as
I
well.
wasn't really a fan of watches, but I like this watch, and because like it matches when I like wear my suit.
Let me see that.
They say it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I like it when I wear my suit. So it's one of those.
yeah, yeah. I don't like the sports logo watches too much. I like the regular, like designer watches were, because it doesn't sound too flashy, too catchy. So that's what I like.
You're not a fan, really?
Yeah, like, and for things like that, seems a little too flashy and catchy. I mean, to me, for those things. For
So like
certain
you
things.
wouldn't wear like a Miami Heat watch or a Laker watch?
Probably not. Well, it depends on how they look, but there's some things I would wear when it comes to sports, but other things not. Like the Miami Heat jersey I have. I mean, this is a shirt, but I have a jersey, and that looks really nice. If I
Wait,
go
who is
out-
that? I know you got the Tyler Herro jersey.
And this one, it's Jimmy Butler.
Oh, that's the shirt you have.
Yeah. And I got this shirt at Champs because I thought it was a cool shirt, and now when summer comes along, it looked more appropriate to wear.
Not bad.
So, and I can't wait and I'm supposed to go to, I think I'm supposed to go to Florida in August, but
Yeah, I think you were telling me about that.
yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, my grandfather died last year. He lived in Florida. So, the funeral's this August. It's probably going to be this August. And, And my parents, even though the funeral's only a day, my parents and I are looking to stay for like a week since it does fall on vacation week for us. And, we just want to get away.
Oh, is that
for
when
a
your dad
while.
took off?
What?
That's when your dad got his vacation time?
Yeah, every year around that time of the year, that's when my parents and I take off.
That's good.
So, yeah, I'm sad for what happened to my grandpa. The one thing I really do wish for him being around is for my cousin, because my cousin's 2 years old, and I doubt my cousin's gonna remember anything about my grandpa because he's just an infant. So I'm assuming that I'm gonna have to tell him stories about him.
Yeah,
all
keep his memory alive.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the thing I'm really bummed out about. I miss him in some form, but at the same time, I did a lot with him, over the years. I spent a lot of time with him, so it's like I feel like satisfied enough, and that I did a lot with him. Like it's more, for him, for the fact that I wanted him to get to know Grandpa.
Yeah, for Teddy.
Yeah, it's more for Ted.
How old is he now?
He's going to be 3 in September.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah, the day when I heard my aunt was pregnant, it didn't feel real, and then it didn't even feel. It felt more unreal when he was born. And for the first couple months, it took time for me to process the fact that he was in my life, because
Well, that was your first cousin, right?
right, my first paternal cousin.
Oh yeah, well you got me.
Yeah. Well, I got a ton of maternal cousins though, plenty of them. Like, you have no idea how many. And I don't even know how many I have, because they live in Ecuador, they live in Spain, they live here, they live there. It's like I have no idea. But
Yeah,
but I know how many cousins I have that live in the
well,
United
who's that
States.
one guy? That one guy, George Pablo or something?
Who was that?
I don't know. He was at your graduation party.
Oh, that's my friend. That's
Oh.
not my cousin. He's
Oh,
just
I
a
thought he
friend.
was related to. I thought that was Magali's kid.
No, he's just my friend. He's just a friend of mine, and he's not Ecuadorian. He's Puerto Rican,
Oh, I thought that was family.
and his name's Albert, not.
Oh, Albert. Albert. I know Albert.
Yeah.
So I thought you guys were related.
Yeah, no, we're just friends. And I thought that when we were kids, actually. When we were little kids, I thought the same way, too.
So you and him are just like you and I.
Yeah, and plus his mom and dad are the reason why my parents met. They're the reason why.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, they're the reason why my parents got together and they married.
Yeah, I think that your dad went to Long Island or something, or
Yeah.
it was like a paint job, or like.
Yeah, and my mom was taking care of their other kid, Lewis.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So my dad was painting the house. My mom was taking care of the other kid, Albert's older brother at that time. He was 2 at that. He was about 2 years old. So my mom was taking care of him at that time, and that's when my parents met.
Yeah, I remember that story. Your dad tells me that all the time.
Yeah, of course. That's how it all started.
Yeah, my bracket's done.
Yeah. Damn.
I'm like in I think 20th.
Yeah, but me, and Brandon got to go to Miami sometime soon.
Maybe.
Yeah, we should do that. I mean, dude, it's depressing.
Maybe
Like,
you and Brandon. I wouldn't go there.
yeah, maybe just Florida in general.
No, I'm saying maybe you and Brandon could go, but I'm not gonna go to Miami with him
Why? Why?
because
Cause what?
I just don't feel like it.
All right, all right, all right. But yeah, yeah, dude, everyone's going there like crazy.
Yeah, well, that's the place to be.
It is true. I mean, but more so than usual though. Like
I
last.
can't believe it's almost April. I'm looking at my watch and it's March 22nd already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Summer, here we come.
I can't wait for 21 summer.
Yeah, hopefully this one's different. Remember when we went to the shore and those ladies? They were like, "You're not 6 feet apart."
Dude, I was gonna say screw you at that
Yeah, but I did the good thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I keep telling them it's not 6 feet apart. It's not my fault they don't listen to me. I look like the good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had no idea either because it was my first time going during Corona, so I had no idea what that was going to be like. And then, it was normal, and then I just sat down, and then these women were like annoyed about us sitting close to them.
Rosh was there too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that day.
yeah, but we just moved in. It took 10 seconds, and then that was it.
Yeah, but because we did it on that one of the shows, they weren't
Yeah.
really enforcing it. You could do whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, it was like normal. I think the only thing you couldn't do was play sports there, but that was it. And it's not like we play sports when we're on the beach.
No, but they didn't like enforce it. Oh, you have to sit here. They didn't have like
Oh yeah, of
wire.
course.
They didn't have like tape saying this spot is not reserved or something.
Yeah, well, they can't. It's impossible. 'Cause
No,
it's
they
on
can.
sand.
Yeah, but they could put like what's like a stick, and they could put like the tape on it.
Maybe, or they could have put like white chalk too, but they never did that.
Yeah, so
It's
we
just,
had a good
it's just
day
the
there.
patrons that enforce it.
We had that we went to the what beach was that, Mom? No,
Long Branch.
no, there was a beach we went to where we couldn't find parking. Remember? And then we went to a different one that day.
Seabright, and then we went to Monmouth Beach.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, I remember. And we didn't have to pay to get in.
Yeah, that was the best part.
Yeah, no, I learned throughout this whole state is that with beaches, if you go at a certain time or hour or day, you won't have to pay to get in because I went to Deal right after that Long Branch visit, right, with Miki, and we didn't pay to get in because there was no attendant in front of the beach. There were no lifeguards, so we got right in, and then they showed up later that day. And then we went for a second time, and then we had to pay because an attendant was in front of the
Oh,
beach.
that's why.
Yeah, because they said that they don't show up certain hours, days.
Yeah, but when we went, someone told us go through the other entrance. I think it was a cop or maybe an attendant.
Yeah, maybe, but we got in for free.
Because we were walking up, and then a girl came up to us. I think she worked there or something, and she's like, "You guys can't come in this way. Go through the other way," and we got in for free.
Yeah, maybe she was helping us out.
Maybe,
Yeah,
but that was good that we didn't really have to pay for anything.
yeah, it was $9. That's
Even
a
though
lot.
even though we pay enough in taxes for God's creation, and there's nothing like paying for something that
Yeah,
taxes already pay for.
yeah, exactly.
You shouldn't have to pay to enjoy nature, like you got to pay to go to a park or you got to pay to go into the water
A
or the
pool.
beach. Like, are people that damn naive that they'll be like, I'm gonna pay for it. They told me to.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
come on.
yeah. Well, you have to go to Wildwood or Ocean
People
City.
got to fight for these things.
Yeah.
Like, it's Earth. It's God's creation. Why should we have to pay for
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
So the state
I
can
went
get
to-
more money because they're stupid with finances.
Yeah, and when I went to Ocean City, Maryland a few years ago, you didn't have to pay to get on the beach. You got right in, and that was it. nobody cared. No attendant, nobody in
Good.
front of the beach. That's how nice it is. And the same thing with Daytona and Ormond. No one's there. Just go right in and enjoy.
Good.
So, and then I think Spain, I went to the beach once. When I went to Spain, when I was 4, I think I went to a beach once.
You remember when you were 4?
Yeah, I remember some things, not a lot, but I remember something. Like
Oh,
I
that's
remember
good.
my school picture. I remember I remember where I took it, which was in the art room, and I remember putting my hand in red paint and then putting it on a picture frame after. I remember that.
Oh, nice. Did you give it to your mom?
Yep.
That was this the day?
Oh God. But yeah, so at least I remember that. I do remember.
Here's my picture days from
High school.
no, freshman year of college.
Yeah. Yo, dude, you really look so different. Like, I looked at your high school pictures.
Yeah,
You look
compared
so
to
different.
now,
Yeah.
look how good I look now with the beard, the suit, the baldness.
Yeah. And then look how good I look without the weird long hair, the weird beanies. Remember I used to wear beanies and those weird glasses too?
Yeah, I
And
remember those
and then,
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember
Some of
those
these people
days.
made huge glow ups too. Like I remember I looked at Tatum like in 7th, 8th grade. She was small. She had
Yeah.
glasses, braces, kind of looked ugly. And now she like looks so different. No glasses.
Well,
no
a lot of
braces.
people do.
And she's like hot.
Andrew, what if she's watching?
She's not gonna watch. And she has a boyfriend.
Well, just be careful what you say, you know?
Yeah, true.
You don't
Yeah,
want him to get...
she's dating a guy from Monmouth she met.
Yeah, that's good.
That's because, yeah, I heard about that on IG, and then her mom told me.
Oh, when you got your hair cut?
Yeah, no, because I said I heard Tatum's got a BF now, and she said, yeah, Dante.
Yeah, she told you that?
Yup.
Well, that's good that she told you.
Yeah, well, she trusts me because I've been going there for a while, and it's not like I bother them anyways. I'm just
Yeah, I
there.
go to Mike. I think I've been going there for like 4 or 5 years now.
They opened in 17.
Yeah, that's basically 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
You've been out of high school for 5 years, Andrew. You didn't know that?
4 years. 4 years.
4 years. But that's basically the same amount.
Yeah,
4 or 5
shit.
years, what's the difference?
Yeah, dude. Back in the day, I can't believe I've so mentally changed like significantly.
Yeah.
Remember when I got out, I didn't want to be out, and now it's like
Yeah, you were like
nother-
obsessed with high school for some reason.
Well, because I had a good time. I mean, I had a good time. It was a pretty good experience, Doug.
I know, but come on, man.
Yeah, but and everything when I first got out, everything seemed weird to me because it was all new. Everything to me was new.
Remember when you used to do like your impersonations?
Yeah, not anymore.
My name's Sean Eldridge. I'm
Yeah,
6
not
foot.
anymore. Not anymore.
Yo, we've had good times together.
Yeah, but now I've changed. Now I'm like, I don't want to
Good.
deal with all these people in school. The only people
Good.
I want to deal with are my friends, really, and like maybe a few acquaintances, and that's it.
Good. That's the good life.
So, yeah, and plus, yeah, and like I look at some of these people, I'm like, with a mean look. I'm like, ugh. Like I see, like sometimes I see like Sierra Valentino at work, and I give her like a mean look.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's weird seeing people from high school. That's why.
Yeah, it is. I don't care.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, who's the one that's winning now? Me.
you. But yeah, like,
Half of them
remember
are
Dags?
washed up.
Yeah, remember Dags?
Yeah, I didn't even recognize the kid.
Yeah, you should tell people about that.
Remember how he introduced us to him? We were
What?
watching the Bishop R game. Bishop R.
Mhm.
We were watching the Bishop R game, and then what did he say? You remember it?
Yeah, so he walked by you. He said, "What's up, Doug?" And you were confused, and you're like, "Huh? How did you know me? How do you know me?" And then he said who he was.
It's like that was you.
You're like, and you're like, "Damn!" after something like that. You say you're like, damn. Yeah. And then remember the guy at Domino's?
Oh, Kevin?
Yeah, I think he's not there anymore. I heard.
Yeah, I ran into a few.
Yeah. And
You
who
go to
else?
Ryan's, they're all there. It's like a high school reunion.
Oh, fuck that. Oh, sorry.
But like that's why I go to I only go to like South Amboy bars like Danny Boy's, Monkey Bar. I don't go to anything local.
Yeah. No, I like to go to the shore bars. The shore bars are my favorite.
Oh, like DJs and Bar A.
Yeah. And also Johnny Max is good. Headliner.
That's good.
I could definitely see myself if I stay in Jersey living down there.
What, like Belmar?
Not Belmore, but like the shore, maybe Long Branch.
See, what you would have to do is you would have to get like a shore house and invest it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I heard a lot of people are moving down the shore.
Like you could live there during the winter, and then when it's time for like the summer, you rent it, make some good money.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of people are moving down the shore. Like I heard Robbie Pito moved there, Kyle Lang.
Yeah, well, you might as well.
Yeah, the place here sucks. Monroe sucks. And it's gone downhill lately.
Yeah, it used to be good. Now it's like, eh.
Yeah. It's like it's so different compared to like 5-10 years ago.
I know.
It's like it feels so different. Doesn't feel the same like it used to.
I know.
But yeah, like Robbie Pito, I heard's in Long Branch. I think he moved there because his brother's at St. Rose in Belmar, so they probably moved there for the kids' schooling, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, that's what I heard because I follow his brother and I saw he was at St. Rose.
Oh, what's his name? I know who you're talking about too.
Jake?
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people from Monroe because when we had like the carnival and I run the speed pitch game, everyone comes to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone comes to that, and they know me from there. And I know people from teaching CCD, so it's like...
Yeah, dude, CCD also changed too.
Yeah, well now it's all virtual.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Because I did like 4 years of CCD, so like a lot of people, they basically know me for that.
Yo, CCD was hell because of the time convenience, and the people I had to deal with were so annoying.
Well, you had to deal with like kids that you know, right?
Yeah, and also kids from other towns like Spotswood, EB.
Well, what could you do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm out.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah. And that's
Wow.
why
That was a long. Wait, who was your teacher, Mr. Mackey?
That was 7th grade. And then Hayes was my 8th grade teacher.
Yeah, Mr. Mackey. I remember the guy. So I'm trying to find the video of like I think Jake was in it.
Yeah.
I think it was 2019 Carnival.
Yeah. 2020. Where was it?
Hold on.
There was no 20. The 2020 Carnival was in Horrorland.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, we're not having one this year either.
No,
All right. So how do I share the screen? I press share screen.
Yeah. They canceled it already?
Yes. All right. So I click share screen, right, Andrew?
Damn. Yeah.
And then I just click this.
Yeah. They said right up front they're canceling it.
Yeah. Well, you can only have like 20 people outside.
Outside, damn. Yeah, but for a public event though?
No, outside in general.
Shit. That's crazy. They gotta What happened to Doug? What happened to Doug? Doug?
The split screen, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Is this share screen?
Yeah, share screen.
Is it on?
No.
Then I'll try and get the video later because I have no idea how that works.
So they already made the announcement?
Yeah, they made the announcement.
When?
A few weeks ago.
Shit.
Because I think the guidelines are you could only have 50 people outside.
Damn.
It doesn't matter if it's an event or anything.
Damn.
So you're gonna have what 50 people? How are you gonna do that?
Yeah, that's true. Unless they fight these guys in court.
Something I don't know how you do it, but yeah, I think Jake was in that video of the carnival where I have everyone.
Yeah. Unless Murphy does something, they're probably gonna do something about it.
Unless who knows, but we'll
Like
see.
1 year, okay, I could live with. 2 years, it's like shit. With like all these things getting canceled.
Well, I wonder if there's gonna be like a carnival in St. Stan's or St. Ambrose. That would be good to go to.
Yeah,
We shall see, though.
yeah, dude, it's so annoying with these state restrictions.
Yeah, like, are we gonna do this with every sickness, or
Yeah, or just with one.
time will tell?
Yeah, I think they're just playing games with us,
Maybe.
politicians.
Well, you know how career politicians are, Andrew.
Yeah, that's true.
We all know that.
Yeah, but that's why Ian Smith is trying to make them afraid again.
It's the system against us.
It is.
You got to be a part of it to, basically get your way. That's why they hated Trump.
Yes, they did.
He was exposing everything about career politicians, and, I think China did this on purpose. They sent out a virus to the world so they could get their way and take over the world, because that's
Yeah.
what they wanted.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. And I think they want to promote a one world order.
That's what I'm hearing. I hope it's not true.
What?
One world order?
Yeah, I hope not. And I hope they don't cancel anything going forward.
I hope not. That's why we got to fight for our rights, Andrew. Fight for our freedom. And hey, wish for the best.
Yeah. Dude, but yeah.
God bless America. That's what we need. God
Yeah,
bless the world, basically, because this ain't.
This ain't what?
Because power. A lot of people want that power
They do.
over the people,
hmm
and there's sheep that will fall for whatever they hear, and then there will be people that know their rights and will fight. You see it. You see it with like Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, Ron DeSantis. He's gonna definitely be running that Republican ticket one day for the presidency. Ted Cruz, I like. When he was running against Trump, I didn't like Ted Cruz, but he's showing his true colors. He's showing us that he's not one of those typical career politicians. So, you gotta basically fight for your rights and fight for what you believe in. A lot of people don't. A lot of people fall for the status quo, or they go along with the status quo. And that's why people get away with doing whatever they want. Like, there shouldn't be all these. For example, how many taxes do we need?
Not many.
Why does the gas tax have to constantly go up? It started with Christie's and it continued with Murphy's. We should be able to afford what we should afford. We shouldn't have to work 3 or 4 jobs. But there are some people that can afford things but still work 3 or 4 jobs because they want to be busy. But, we just gotta, in the end, the people have to win. And we can't allow career politicians to basically rule the world. And what I mean by that is we have to live with our freedoms. The right to practice a religion. The right to go to church. The right to have a freedom of speech. The right for people to speak their mind.
Right
Because
to
in
work.
other countries you just say whatever you want, and there could be consequences.
And then also a right to do what we want.
Like
events.
look at Artemi Panarin of the New York Rangers. He said something about Putin, and there was this whole I'm trying to look for that word. There was this whole I guess you could say consequence or whole. I'm not sure the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. There was it was like some type of backlash, and he would get like threats. People would say stuff about him. and he couldn't. He had to take an absence of leave to have safety for his family. Look in America. How many people constantly attack President Trump? Are there consequences for them? No, because they live in a country where they have that freedom of speech. How many people attack President Joe Biden, call him Sleepy Joe, do all these memes, do all these, reels? I saw something with Trump hitting a golf ball and it landed on Joe Biden when he fell up the stairs.
Oh yeah, and also I saw one where where Mario raced him up the plane when he was climbing up the stairs, and then Mario threw some bananas at him and he fell.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Because at the end of the day, when we'll finish on this note, Andrew, America is the greatest country in the world, and there are a lot of people that don't see it, but don't appreciate it.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Andrew. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for being a part of the Doug Survival Show. We'll see you next time, buddy. Take care.
Yeah, take care.
All right, thank you for joining the Doug Survival Show. We had Andrew Brem today. Brandon Schwartz is no longer part of the Doug Survival Show. There was an incident last Monday, and we don't need any distractions from Madison Valdez while you're trying to do a podcast, and that's why we had to let him go. But as always, guys, thank you for supporting the Doug Survival Show. Thank you. We truly appreciate it. You guys are the best, including the haters. We really appreciate it.